Hello, this is going to be a series on Swiper.js, and this series will be all raw, no editing, right? So let's jump into Relium. So we are going to create a very basic slider using Swiper.js, and once we have the foundation, once we know the basics, then we will uh, proceed towards the advanced level. And I will also learn a lot with you while teaching you how to create advanced sliders. So I am inside Relium. So let's copy this component because I can see the slides there. So I'm assuming that this will be the native Webflow slider, but we will convert the native slider into Swiper slider, right? So I have a clonable of client first. I'm just copying the component I just copied into the main wrapper. So you can see my classes are duplicated. The reason is I do not have a paid Relium account for on this workspace. So that's why I cannot make it like to avoid the class duplications. So, but anyhow, we are here to learn about Swiper.js. So let's give it a name, padding global. Okay. So let's open these blocks, and there you can see it's a native Webflow slider. So first we need to create a swiper structure. So inside this gallery 21 component, I'm going to create a new block and we will name it swiper, right? And inside this we are going to create swiper wrapper, and inside this we are going to create swiper slide. Okay, so you have to create these blocks for the Swiper.js. And for the slide structure, let's copy this lightbox. I'm just copying the specific slide and let's put it inside swiper slide, right? And let's create 3 slides. So I have just copied this swiper slide and let's paste inside swiper wrapper. So this is going to be 3 slides there, 1, 2, and 3, right? And I think now we just need to get this one, or maybe we can create our own, but let's just copy these arrows as well. So this is the navigation. This is not visible maybe because of the color, I think. Yeah, so I think that was connected to a variable and now we are getting an error. That's why it's invisible. So let's try to copy. Okay, I'm going to create, let's make it div block. Let's give it a name, swiper navigation, right? And let's create a new block and give it a name, gallery 21 arrow, gallery 21 arrow, and is left, gallery 21 arrow, and is, what's the combo class for? Okay, for the right one there is no combo class added. Okay, that's perfect. For this navigation, okay, so I think we need to create our own navigation, so let's just put it like um, let's just create a new class and make it gallery slide nav. Right, so we can call this swiper buttons, and for this we can call it swiper um, dots, right? Yeah, so I think nothing else is required, so we can now remove this native slider, right? So now we have a very basic structure is already there. So I think we forget to copy the icons. So let me just copy this icon and paste it inside this one. And let's copy this icon and paste it inside this one. Yeah, everything else looks good. So now we do not need this native slider. So let's remove this one. So now we are ready to make it connected with the swiper library. So for this purpose, just type swiper.js in Google and go to this site, which is this one. Click on docs and go to get started. So inside get started, let me show you one interesting thing. Yes, so we actually created this structure inside Webflow. So this is swiper. Inside swiper we have swiper wrapper. Inside swiper wrapper we have swiper slide, and it depends how many slides you want. And for the buttons, so we have a different structure for the buttons, right? So I think for the navigation we can call it pagination. Yeah, and so let's make it, let's give it similar names. So inside buttons, let's not call it buttons, let's call it navigation, right? Navigation or navigations, navigation, right? And let's give it not swiper dots but swiper pagination, right? So inside navigation, let's call it swiper button previous, right? So we need to call this swiper button previous. We can remove is left, and we can just duplicate, and we can I'm not sure why I'm not able to duplicate the class, because my internet is very slow. Yeah, so what we can do is let's remove this class, which is not a good idea. Yeah, okay, let's remove this class. Let's give it a new class, and width is 3 rems, the height is 3 rems, and we have a border. The border radius is 99%, and that's it. Yeah, okay, and make it to flex and bring the icon in the center, right? And give this a class name, which is this one, swiper button next. Actually, we can change these class names. You can give it any, you can give these buttons any class name, but just for the convenience we are using the same names. So let's make it width and height to 3 rems, right? Make it flex, bring the icon in the center, and let's make the border radius to 99% and give it a border of width 1 pixel and make it black, right? So we have the similar icons there. Okay, so now we have the similar names as well. We do not need the scroll bar in this case, so we can skip this part. So we are good with the structure, right? Now we just have to copy this JavaScript code, and let's go to the home page and page settings and paste it in before closing body tag. So let's create a script tag, closing script tag, and paste the script there. So we do not need the scroll bar, so let's remove this part, and we need the pagination. Okay, I think I need to look into this, the pagination. Okay, let's see that how it goes. And our slider is not vertical, it's horizontal. So by default, the swiper slider is horizontal. So we do not need to make it horizontal. So we can just skip this part. So let's put it inside a comment, and let's make this inside a comment as well. So we do not need a loop right now. And this looks good so far. Okay. Yeah. So let's go back to the swiper.js, and we need to get yeah. So we are going to implement swiper.js via CDN. So let's copy this script and let's paste it inside the add tag. For now, this is all we want. What else we need? So let's skip this style sheet link for now. So the next thing we want is, let's go back to the Relium gallery section. So we want it to look like this. So we need 2 slides to fit in the screen, right? So we have to confirm this thing before making any changes. So let's go back to, okay, so let's make this swiper wrapper to flex. But before doing this, let me show you one more important thing, which is like, because we can have multiple sliders on a page, or yeah, on a page. So the good way of doing is, do not start working on these base classes. I would say let's create a combo class and give it like is gallery, right? So let's use is gallery for all 3 classes. Is gallery, is gallery, and is gallery, right? And let's go to the script and let's put it dot is gallery, right? So for example, we could have multiple sliders on the page, so we can just paste a new script and we can call it as maybe testimonials, right? So all the properties now will affect only this specific slider. This will not affect this one, right? So the good thing is just put a combo class with the swiper, and now we are good to go, and now we can make the changes. So now the change we make to this swiper wrapper will only affect this is gallery the component with this combo class. So let's make it flex, let's make it direction towards horizontal. That's good. Go back to the home page and let's add a new property. And the new property will be okay, let's look into the documentation. Let's go to the Swiper Core API. We are already into the documentation. Okay, so let's search for, so I'm pressing Control F, and let's search on this page for slides per view, right? So we can now we can see that there is a property for Swiper.js where we can mention that how many slides we want. Okay, and we can also change the number of slides based on the breakpoints, right? So let's just skip this breakpoint part and let's just focus on one. Let's just push slides per view on every breakpoint. So what we can do is we can just put slides per view, and we want 2, and the distance between the slides. So there are actually 2 ways. So maybe you will try to build the gaps between the slides from here, flex, and we can call it between the columns. Let's make it 1 rems, which is not a recommended way of doing it. So let's go back to the code and go back to the documentation. So you can see we have a new property which is called space between. So let's copy this one, and we can add a space in pixels. So let's make it 24, which is 1.5 rems. So this is how we can add the spacing between the slides. And yeah, I think it looks good. So let's save this one and let's publish, and let's see what we get. Okay, so let's open the page. Slider is there, but I just need to make sure that it should display 2 slides per view. Okay, let's make this gallery to cover 100 width, right? Let's also make this gallery to cover 100 width, and let's make this slide to sizing to don't shrink or grow, right? And okay, let's publish and see what are the results we get. Okay, so now I can see 2 slides per view. This is 1 slide, this is 2nd slide, and this is where, if I just show you, so this is where our container is, right? So it is inside the container, and inside the container we have 2 slides per view. So if I just go back to the script and let's make it to 1, let's save this one. So you do not have to worry about how it looks on the designer, because the script will only work on the published side. So now we have only 1 slide of view, right? So we can swipe between the slides, right? So this is 1, 2, and 3. We can also make it to 3. Let's save this one, and let's just create a new slide. So just copy this and paste. So now we have 5 slides, and now let's publish. reload the website. So now we have 1, 2, 3 slides of view, right? So this is working good, but there is another way to set the number of slides of view. So for example, if we just look into some other example, which could be a different one. So let's say that we do not want to make it set the number of slides from here, but we want to set the slide covering area in percentage. So let's make it this swiper slide is gallery to 40% of the container, right? So this is how it will appear on the published site. So let's make it 30%, right? So you can also do this. Let's make it 50%. So let's make it 33%, or maybe 35%, maybe 40%. Yeah. So let's go with 40%. But in that case, you have to change the value for this slides per view. So let's make it auto. And for auto, just put 2 commas, sorry, inverted commas. I do not remember the name of these commas, and put it inside auto. That's it. So let's save it. So now when we have auto there in front of slides per view, then we can set the percentage on swiper slide. So you can see it's 40%. So let's publish and see what are the results we have. So let's refresh the page. So now we have each slide covering the 40% area of the container. So this is the very first very basic thing about how the swiper slider works, and how we can change the number of slides and the distance between them, and how to name the div blocks for the swiper.js. So I think in the next video we can look into the navigation and the pagination and some other stuff. So yeah, so that's it for now. Let's meet in the next one.